Hi, I'm Alex Turner,
And I'm Richard K.
and we're both in 8th grade, and we go to O.A. Thorpe Scholastic Academy. The title of our experiment is Best Airplane Designs for the Best Flight. Our testable question was, what airplane design is the best for flight?
Some background information that we got is that aerodynamics is how objects move around air. The four forces of flight is lift, weight, thrust, and drag. Lift is the force that pushes an object up. The weight is the force that brings the object down, but it also makes it go farther. Thrust is the force that pushes objects forward. It could be your hand when you launch an airplane, or thrusters for real airplanes. But in this experiment, we used a ramp, so they all have the same amount of thrust. So the plane would depend on the design to fly far. Drag is the force that pulls an object down because of the resistance of the air. And these are the sources that we got from.
Our testable question is, what airplane design is the best for flight?
One independent variable is the weight of the airplane.
A dependent variable is the distance the airplane flies.
Some control variables are the angle of how the plane is launched, the force that is used of the plane will stay the same, and the plane will always be paper, whether it's cardstock or copy paper. Every plane had a paper clip attached so it would be shot off the ramp smoothly.
Our hypothesis is that the slick and narrow design will make it travel further than other paper airplanes with the least resistance from the wind.
Our purpose is to create a design that flies the farthest and has the best performance. Because there could be a better airplane design that is more energy efficient and better for the environment. We hope people look into this research in creating planes that are better for the ecosystem.
The materials we used were different kinds of paper, a tape measure, wooden slingshot, our hands, books and websites on what designs to make, some tape, rubber bands, paper clips, and staples.
And these are the steps how we did it. And there is 10 in total.
This is a data table showing that Skinny went the farthest on average out of all the planes, and the Straight Glider went the shortest out of all of them.
As you can see, this is our graph. And it shows that Skinny went the farthest with 5 grams.
And you can visually see the difference in average distances for every single plane. Experimentation results. After finishing all of the testing and trials for this experiment, we found that some of the heavier planes did fly farther than their lighter counterparts. On average, of all the heavier planes and all the lighter planes had a higher average for the distance they went. This shows that the design of the planes does matter more than the weight. We also found that the skinnier and narrower planes typically went farther than the wider glider planes.
So these are the paper airplanes that we used to be launched off the ramp. And Skinny went the farthest, and that's the plane right there.
Some experimental error we had during the experiment was that the paperclip that was stapled to the paper airplane may have shifted in flight and altered the flight path of the plane. Another error we had was that some planes were tested outdoors, while others were tested indoors. Another experimental error that occurred is the dinosaur hit the wall 3 times when we were testing it indoors, so we were not able to see exactly how far it went.
Conclusion. During the experiment, we discovered that the plane that went the farthest on average was the plane called Skinny. The plane that went the shortest distance was called a straight glider, which is very wide and too top heavy, resulting in the plummeting to the ground. However, Alex flew this plane indoors with no wind, which could have altered the results. The plane that had the planes that had the furthest average distance were the narrow and sleek planes, proving our hypothesis to be proven true.
With all of our plane designs, the weather became a factor in our experiment. Out of all of our planes, we were only able to test 2 of them outdoors, and on that day it was very windy, which could have also factored into our experiment. Due to it becoming colder outdoors, the remaining planes were tested indoors. The Skinny was one of the 2 tested outside, and that might be why it flew so well. The paper clips that we stapled to the planes either shifted or fell off entirely. This could have altered the flight path and messed up data. Based on the results of our experiment, our hypothesis is still proven true. We would prefer to conduct our experiment in the same environment, preferably all outdoors, but the weather changed our plans.
We would like to thank Mr. Mackey for helping us do this science fair stuff and the sources that gave us this new knowledge, and Alex's dad for making it run.
This is a picture of our safety sheet and abstract.
Thank you for your time.